Okay, we're recording. All right, welcome to your reset and restore practice. Let's start on our hands and knees. So take your time. And as you come on your hands and knees, I think I'll turn around here. Just go ahead and let yourself move into it. I love to do sort of side to side movements here. And we'll do some of those, but just for now, start to move in any way that feels good. Another thing that I really like to do is to sort of lean into each hand. So side to side, yes, but I think we tend to sort of go side to side more in the hips. And so maybe consider leaning forward, especially if you use your wrists and elbows and shoulders a lot sitting at a computer. It's a really nice way to sort of start to stretch the wrists a bit. And then sometime soon, as you're ready, just start to move from a cat to a cow pose. And focus on the pelvis and the tucking and the tilting of the pelvis, and let the spine go from there. So as you tilt the pelvis forward, then the lumbar spine drops down and the thoracic spine, the middle of the back, sort of opens up. And then you can start to look forward a little. Be gentle in the back of the neck. There's no need to jut the chin out or look too far up. Keep the back of the neck long. And then as you tuck, you'll round in the lumbar, thoracic, and even a little bit in the cervical spine as you drop your head down. So keep going with this, and as you start to smooth out the movements, begin to use your breath to sync up. So whether you exhale into cat or cow and inhale into the opposite, it doesn't matter. And you can keep sort of keeping the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees, or you can take it a little, I guess, deeper, take it a little more front to back as well with the hips. So you might sit back a bit with the hips as you pull the chest forward into sort of a half cow, half baby. Maybe we can call this calf pose. And then as you tuck the pelvis and start to round up, you can come forward more into the wrists and really open up across the tops of the shoulders and then the back of the neck. And so just keep taking this, if you're doing it, back and forth. And again, I encourage you to focus on the movement of the pelvis. And let the pelvis lead the movement. Just a few more rounds. I have a teacher that talks about making sure that you always do several more rounds than you want to. She says, right when you want to stop, that's just when you're about to have a transformation, changing your chemistry, is how she talks about it. All right, 3 more rounds. Take your time. Just keep breathing and moving. All right, nice job. So the next time you set your hips back, or the next time you come into cow pose, if you haven't been moving back and forth, do set your hips back. You can widen the knees a little, but maybe not as wide as you can get them, so that maybe your torso is still somewhat resting on your thighs. And then just walk your hands over to one side as far as you can. And I started going to the left, so I'm gonna really focus on keeping my right hip down and really reaching, especially through that right hand. And just let your head sort of stay between your biceps. And you can come up onto your fingertips here, really opening the shoulders even more. And take just 2 more breaths here and make sure that you're really feeling your inhalation expand through the right ribs. Sometime soon, take your time, come back through center, and then come over to the other side. And again, whichever direction you're going, make sure that the opposite hip continues to really reach back so that you're opening through the whole side body. Maybe you're up on your fingertips, maybe not. But either way, really reach and keep your head so that your ears are lined up with your biceps, so that your head is just pretty much in the middle of your arms, the frame of your arms. A few more breaths here, really letting yourself expand out into the side that you're stretching. So good. All right, sometime soon, let yourself come on back to center and just roll up the spine, coming back to the middle. And just walk the knees forward so that you can come down to a seat. So the first thing we're going to do here is a bound angle where your feet come together, and do your best to get the whole of each foot together. What tends to happen is that we tend to sort of roll open, but see if you can get the mound at the base of the pinky toes and the mound at the base of the big toes together. And then therefore your heels should also come together pretty well. And then see about getting typically a little more forward onto the perineum. So I tend to reach back and just sort of pull the flesh back and see if in doing that, I can let the pelvis tilt a little more forward. And if you're really sort of hunched back and sitting on your tail, then just slide your feet as far forward as you need to try to get off your tail and more into the center of your pelvis. It's probably going to feel like you're sitting too far forward, but it's likely that you're not. So hold on to something, your knees, your shins, your ankles. And press the feet into each other and try to think again about the sort of the 4 corners of the feet, across the balls of the feet and across the heels. And instead of pressing your knees down, press your feet into each other and think about reaching your knees nice and wide. And you can work right here if sort of maintaining a neutral pelvis and sitting up tall is giving you a nice stretch. And also, if you want a little more, you can start to hinge forward. I want to really emphasize here that there's zero value in hunching and collapsing in the chest and getting your head forward. That does nothing but exacerbate bad posture. So rather than doing anything with the upper part of the body, with the torso, the waist up, focus on the pelvis, getting the pubic bone down a little more and the tailbone back a little more. And one really nice way to do this is to use your exhalations to see if you can soften the pulling that you're feeling. And you've heard me say before, I'm 100% sure that it's an undoing, not a doing. You're not exerting effort to relax the muscles, the soft tissue that's pulling. You're trying to undo what is essentially sort of familiar gripping and holding and tensing. Good. Okay, let's do one more thing here and then we'll come onto our backs and work on the backs of the legs. Hold on to your left shin with your right arm, right hand rather, and then your right shin with your left hand. So you're sort of crossing, and you can go up a little closer to the knees if you can, or you can stay closer to the elbows, just wherever. But find a place and just commit to sort of that being the home base. You're tilted forward a little bit, or maybe less so. And we're just going to do some swimming here. What I want to encourage you to do is to use the hand that stays on the leg at any time to really anchor you and stay there. So in this case, take the right arm out because it's on the bottom and just reach back and up and over and bring the right hand back to the place on the left leg that it was before you let go of the left hand as you reach back and up and over. And keep going. Take your time. Might eventually make it to your knees, but honestly, anywhere that works for you where you can maintain an integrity to staying centered here and making sure that each time you come around, you touch down. So there's a moment with both hands. Just acts as a frame, a boundary. And whatever way feels right for you in terms of syncing your breath, just make sure that there's some sense of breathing and moving together. This is so great for the shoulders and upper back and chest. You can do it sitting in a chair without really changing the legs much at all. You might widen your knees a bit. Good, take just 2 more rounds. All right, last round. Since we started with the right arm going back around, the next time the left arm goes around, just come back to center and just let your head drop for a moment. Breathe into your upper back. Good work. Take your time releasing that. And let's come on to the back. As you come down on to your back, do just a little windshield wipering of the legs. I like to keep my knees, my feet, and therefore my knees a little wide here. That way, when you come down, you're more of a pinwheel shape versus having the legs stacked. Good. Okay, take your time, come on back to center. Let's do a little bit more hip work before we work on the backs of the legs. Do a figure 4. Whatever leg you want to start with is fine with me. Just make sure that the foot is sort of pulled back. That helps to really keep the knee square. And then you can just work here, maybe gently pressing the bent knee away, the knee that's in the figure 4, or you can pull the bottom leg in toward the chest. What I'd like to recommend here is that you try to keep the pelvis in place rather than letting it tuck, rather than letting the tail lift. Keep the tail mostly down. That, I mean, you can let it, have a little bit of room, obviously, but keeping the tail down really gets the stretch into the outer hip and the IT band. Take just another breath or two here. Good. And then bring the bottom foot back down if it's up. Keep the figure 4 and then drop the top foot to the floor. And keep the top foot, the leg that was on top, keep that knee bent and pointed toward the ceiling. You may not feel much of a stretch in sort of the oblique, psoas, outer hip area here. If you don't feel much, one thing that you can do is the bottom leg. You can use that knee to bring the whole situation closer to your hand. So in this example, I have my right leg was making the figure 4, so I'm twisting to the left. My outer left leg is all the way down. My right foot's on the floor. My right knee is facing the ceiling. And then I used my left knee to bring my right foot closer to my left hand. And now I'm feeling it much more so in the outer hip area. It's really good. One more breath here. Good. So leave the bottom leg where it is and just hug the top knee into the chest and sort of roll back, and then the bottom knee. And you can do a little rolling side to side to come back to center. And let's just do that on the other side. So make sure that you're flexing the top foot. And then again here, you can just gently press the knee away or start to bring the bottom knee in toward the chest, holding on to either the hamstring, the back of the upper leg, or all the way through to the shin. Really pull the toes back. Keep the tail down. And I didn't mention this on the other side, but make sure that just to the best of your ability in terms of how it feels, make sure to keep your pelvis relatively square. I always focus on the tailbone. And so my left leg is on top. And so what may happen here is that the tailbone would sort of shoot off to the right, because that would sort of ease the pull in the hips. So keep your tailbone pointed right down the center of the mat and mostly down. Just take one more breath here. And then put the bottom foot down if necessary, and take that sort of figure 4 twist, if you will. So I'm doing the opposite side. My right leg is down, the whole outside of the leg is touching the floor. The left foot's on the floor, the left knee is bent but pointed toward the ceiling. And I'm going to use my right knee in this case to press my left foot closer to my right hand so I can hold on to it just a little and then get much more of a stretch in that outer hip, the sacroiliac joint, the psoas. And the reason that we're doing this is because all of these sort of big hip muscles directly affect our ability to get into our hamstrings. So take one more breath here. And then let the top knee come into the chest, and then the bottom knee. And just go side to side, straighten yourself out. Nice job. So put your right foot down, interlace your fingers behind your leg at your hamstring, and keeping the pelvis mostly down, start to press up through the heel. Now, make sure that you're really interlacing your fingers and that you've got a good sort of bond there with your hands, because in a minute we're going to add to this. But for now, just press up through the heel and pull the left toes back toward the knee. So keep that foot nice and flexed. And just take a second to look at the foot. Remember earlier when we were doing Setu Bandhasana, the bound angle with our feet together, and I said make sure that the mound at the base of the pinky and the mound at the base of the big toe were together. Well, see if you can imagine what might need to adjust here for that. So a lot of times what happens is that the pinky toe side of the foot goes up more than the sort of arch side of the foot. So as you're pulling back, see what adjustments you might be able to make in the foot. And then also just check out the knee and make sure that as best you can, it's facing you, it's nice and square, it's not rolling out. Okay, stay with this for one more breath. Check in with the pelvis, make sure it hasn't skewed. And then what we're gonna do here is press the left leg into the hands very actively, as if you're trying to sort of break out of this. Even if the left leg isn't perfectly straight, it's fine, mine's not. Press it into the hands a lot. You'll feel that the front of the leg is activating. Quad. Press, press, press. Press a little harder for just 3 more seconds. And then see about relaxing that and bringing the left leg a little bit closer. Maybe you slide your hands up, maybe not, but just go ahead and pull in a little bit closer than what you were before. And just take 3 more breaths here. Nice job. So bend the left knee now. Reach up and see about grabbing the outside of the foot. So this is technically called half happy baby. Just let yourself open here. The knee is bent and sort of coming toward the armpit. Check in with the pelvis. Try to keep it as neutral and square as possible. Nice job. Okay. Let's do that on the other side. Take your time, releasing the left foot down. And then hug the right knee in. Keep the pelvis square. Interlace your fingers. And try to do it in the least habitual way here, the least familiar way, just to change it up. And then as you're ready, start to extend the leg up, pressing the heel up. And look at the foot. And look at the kneecap. Check in with the pelvis. And remember that stretching in a lot of ways is an undoing. Yes, there's dynamic stretching where you do exert effort, and that's what we do when we press the leg into the hands. But at first, just see if you can work to allow length in the back of the leg. Okay, good. All right, so start to press the right leg into the hands a lot. And of course, pull with the hands back, resist. Really press, really press. Keep the toes pulled back and the foot and kneecap as neutral as possible. Press, press, press. 3 more seconds. And then release that effort. Maybe the hands slide up a bit. Pull the right leg in, and you can bend the knee a little more here. Check in with the pelvis. Very easy for the hips to shift around here to make this a little easier, a little less intense. So good. Okay, now bend that right knee. Reach up and take a hold of the foot to the best of your ability. Keep the pelvis square as possible. Softening with each breath, especially the exhalations. Nice job. One more breath here. And then just slowly begin to release the right leg down. Do one more little round of windshield wipering here. Good. Okay, let's do one more thing. Come on up to a seated posture. Bend the knees, but keep the feet and knees together, and bring the feet in as close as you need to reach down and grab the outside edges of the feet. We've done this before. Before you do any more than this, see about lifting up through the chest to the best of your ability. Good. And then just start to walk the knees away a little at a time, or the heels rather. Just walk the heels away. Do your best to keep your torso on your thighs and focus on the pelvis. And what we've talked about already during this practice is the tailbone coming down. Nope, let me say that again. The pubic bone coming down and the tailbone going back. So you're really hinging at the pelvis, not letting the low back round. Keep your torso on your thighs. And what we've also already focused on, work on that here, kneecaps pointed up and toes all pointed up, and feet as neutral as possible. Try not to let them maybe roll out. Your hands can really help you out here. I hold on to the pinky edges, and then I use my thumbs sort of the space between the big toe and the second toe to just sort of press. There is a pressure point there, so don't be surprised if you do that and you feel it a lot. It can feel nice, but it can be intense. Focus on your pelvis here, pubic bone down, tailbone back. Really reach the tailbone back. Use the leverage of your arms to lift your chest to the best of your ability. And it may be that after a few breaths, you can walk the feet another teeny tiny bit away. Keep breathing and using your exhalations to soften into the shape. All right, give yourself, let's say, another 20 seconds here. Just work with it. Like 3 times this week, a quote that I knew about but came across my awareness, and it's by Viktor Frankl, and something to the effect of, between stimulus and a reaction is a gap, and in that gap is your power. Something like that. It's a little more eloquent, I think, but the point is that little pause if we are mindful of it and use it to be deliberate about our response can change our experience entirely. All right, good work. Be gentle with yourself as you come up and start to make your way to your back for our meditation. As you start to come down and prepare for our meditation, let's do some breathing on the way. And the breath work that I want to encourage is a simple inhale and a slightly forceful exhale through the mouth. And you can accompany that with a little bit of sort of tense and release in the body in whatever way is available as you are moving into your meditation posture. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling. And even if you're not working with the body, that it's a little more than a sigh. It's a little bit of a pushed out sigh, a sigh with oomph. Feel free to stick your tongue out. No one's watching. So as you're settling in, I'll share that the focus of our meditation is feelings and emotions. And during this practice, we'll recognize and welcome feelings such as comfort, discomfort, hot, cold, pain, pleasure, and emotions such as anger, fear, sadness, disgust, shame, joy, or excitement. Recognizing that they are all messengers that provide us with information. And with that information, our response, hopefully after a pause, can be aligned. So our response to the world and within ourselves. And I say hopefully can be aligned. What I mean by that is that it's intentional and aligned with our values, with the type of person that we want to be. So when we touch a hot stove, pain signals us that we're burning our hand, and we react to that. But when our expectations are thwarted, or there's something that irritates or angers us, we get the opportunity to re-examine our attitude, our thoughts, our beliefs, and respond in a way that's aligned. So your practice is to acknowledge and welcome the legitimacy of these messengers, which lays the groundwork for living a healthy and well-adjusted life. And with practice, we become proficient at recognizing the variety of feelings and emotions we experience, and to welcome rather than deny, repress, or even in some cases, express them. It's a practice to learn how to recognize, welcome, and experience, and then respond in alignment to feelings and emotions rather than just being reactive or hopelessly mired down with our emotions. And this aligns really well to our adjustment of self-care that we were talking about earlier, the adjustment of how we view self-care, because when we become proficient in recognizing the feelings and emotions that we experience and welcome them as messengers, we can embrace them as signals for need to tune our instrument. So just let yourself really soften into being comfortable and supported. And maybe with a few more long, slow, very intentional exhalations, you can start to release habitual gripping and tensing. And really let yourself be held. Really give yourself over to this process of tuning in. And with that in mind, just take a moment to listen to what arises when you ask yourself, what is it that I want? What is it that I want? And just trust that whatever comes up is what's meant to be intended for this practice. And just affirm it. It can be I am, whatever it is I want, or I want. Or I appreciate. That's a good one. I appreciate this experience. I appreciate the quality of whatever I want. I appreciate my desire. Good. So let that go for now. And let the sound of my voice guide you through your body. We're going to go rather quickly. As always, just give yourself the opportunity to observe what's present as it is. So important. Start with the mouth as a whole. Feel the lips now and the teeth and gums and the roof of the mouth and the inner cheeks and the tongue. Bring your awareness to the hinges of your jaw now. Notice if there's any habitual gripping that you can undo. Bring your attention to your ears now. Feel the outer ears. And then move your awareness into the inner ears and feel your ears receiving sound. Become aware of your eyes as a whole. Feel the eyelids and the surfaces of the eyes and the backs of the eyes. And just become aware of familiar holding around the muscles of the eyes. Can you undo and let the eyeballs rest a little deeper in the sockets? Become aware of the forehead and the eyebrows and the cheeks. Feel the nose now. Notice the nostrils and the flow of breath in and out of the nostrils. And just allow your awareness to expand, to feel the whole head, the face, the scalp, the heaviness of the skull. Bring your attention down the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, and the throat. See if you can allow a very subtle opening, widening, softening of the throat. Shift your awareness down into the shoulder girdle. Feel the collarbones and the shoulder blades and the armpits and the humerus bones as they insert into the torso. Feel down those bones to the elbows. Feel down the forearms to the wrists. Feel the backs of the hands and the thumbs and fingers. Become aware of the palms now. And just take a moment to feel the radiant vibration in the palms of the hands. The aliveness. Take in both hands, both arms simultaneously. Feel the upper back. Feel down the spine. Notice the rib cage as it emerges from the spine and let it wrap around the front. Notice the chest and the abdomen. Feel the sides of the waist and the low back. Become aware of the pelvis as a whole. Feel the hip bones and the pubic bone. Notice the low belly, the genitals, and the places where the legs insert in to the hips. Feel down the leg bones to the knees and down the lower half of the legs to the ankles. Feel the tops of the feet, the toes, the soles of the feet. Take in both feet and both legs at the same time. Notice the whole back body now. And the whole front of the body. And feel the body as a whole. And become aware of the body breathing and the flow of the breath as sensation in the nostrils, the chest, as it expands and softens, the abdomen, as it rises and falls. Breath in, breath out, the gentle wave, natural rhythm. Breath in, breath out. Just take a moment to be aware of all that's now present in your awareness. Sense what's present in your experience and feel yourself as the one who is aware of everything that's present in your experience. Breathing in and out. Body is completely relaxed. The breath is soft and steady. The body is completely relaxed. The breath is soft and steady. Experience yourself dissolving into being the field of awareness in which you're able to witness the body completely relaxed and the breath soft and steady. Now bring your attention to warmth in the body. Just notice where you may be experiencing warmth. And now coolness. Just becoming aware of the experience of coolness. Notice what's heavy in the body. Just becoming aware. And notice lightness in the body. Once more, just becoming aware. Identify discomfort in your present experience. To whatever degree it may be there. Identify comfort in your present moment experience. And now just let your awareness expand to take in any and all feelings that are present. Not emotions, but feelings in the body, such as warmth, coolness, heaviness, lightness. And just allow those feelings to blossom in the body, to really be felt, to really be experienced. Just let yourself from that place of witness, from that pure field of awareness that you are, let yourself observe. And welcome. Without thinking, simply experiencing. Good. And just notice all that is now present in your awareness. Bring your attention to an emotion that is present in your body. And at first, just allow yourself to Observe what's present. Something may be there, obviously. It may be more subtle or not at all. Now allow yourself to just welcome whatever is in your experience in this moment, whether it's a specific emotion or something different. If no emotion is present, there's no need to make anything happen. Just let it be there. Allow yourself to observe, to witness. And now let's take a moment to just be aware of any specific emotions that may or may not be present. So start first with anger. Just allow yourself to observe any experience of anger in the body. There's no need to scrutinize here. Just bring the concept, the emotion of anger into your awareness and see what comes up in your body and notice how it feels. Shift now to becoming aware of sadness. May or may not be present. Again, just allow the emotion of sadness to come into your awareness. Hold that in your awareness. And just feel into the body what may arise. As always, remember if nothing is present, then just welcome whatever is present. Bring to your awareness now the experience in your body of shame. Remember, you are simply witnessing all that's present in your awareness. And so just give yourself the opportunity to observe the experience or lack of experience of shame. And allow yourself now to become aware of any sensation or experience of excitement in the body. Just notice what arises as you hold excitement in your awareness. Just feel what arises. And now allow yourself to become aware of any experience of joy. Just sensing how joy is experienced in the body, if at all, in this moment. And then finally, see what it may be like to experience all of these emotions in your body at the same time. Just invite anger, sadness, shame, excitement, joy. Just allow them for just a brief moment to coexist within you to whatever extent is possible. And you allow yourself to just be aware of whatever arises and really experience yourself as the field of awareness in which everything is arising. And just be aware of all that's present in your awareness. So good. Bring your attention back to the breath. And it may be that the breath has changed a bit or that you feel compelled to slow it down intentionally. Just take a moment as you let the breath be soft and steady, to use exhalations to bring the body back into that deeply released and relaxed state of being held and supported. And just notice the feet and see if you can use your next exhalation to soften the feet in any way. And notice the legs from the ankles to the hips. And see if you can use the next exhalation to release any unintended gripping, tensing, holding, clenching, or grasping in the legs. Become aware of the glutes. And with the next exhalation, soften the glutes completely. Feel the low belly and the sides of the waist and the low back. And just allow, with the next exhalation, those parts to release any unintended holding. Soften through the mid and upper back. Let it sink down into the floor. Relax the sides of the torso and the chest, the shoulders. Let the arms be a little heavier. Let the hands be a little softer from the inside out. Release the weight of the head just a little more so that the sides of the neck relax. Soften in the throat. And let the skin of the face be heavy and smooth. Relax the scalp. And the ears and the eyes. Whole body completely relaxed. Just use your imagination to experience the sensation of an inner smile. Start with the belly. And just feel that broadening of a big grin in the belly. And feel a smile spread from the heart out to the shoulders. Nice, wide, open smile. Feel a smile in the inner mouth. And feel a smile in the eyes. Corners of the eyes gently turning up. And feel a smile on the forehead. Whole body smiling. Whole body completely relaxed and supported. Breath soft and steady. Just be aware of all that's present in this moment. Sense what's present and experience yourself as the field of awareness in which everything that's present arises. Body completely relaxed and supported. Breath so soft and steady. Dissolving into pure awareness itself, open and spacious. A pure being awareness in which everything is coming and going. Awareness in which everything is welcome, just as it is. All that has been or is now present. everything just as it is. Welcome. Come back now to your heartfelt intention. What it is you want, or desire. And if possible, just repeat the same words. Perhaps it was I am. Perhaps it was I want. Perhaps it was I appreciate, whatever it is. And just imagine going about your daily life, noticing sensations, feelings, emotions. And everything in your experience that is constantly changing, yet all the while feeling yourself as that unchanging, spacious awareness in which everything is coming and going. And bring a little smile to the face as you take a slow, deep breath in and a long, slower, deeper breath out. You can begin to move the toes and the fingers. Maybe roll the head a bit from side to side. And begin to stretch a bit if that feels good. And as always, as we come to the end of our time together, the choice is completely yours to stay reclined or to roll to one side. Just ensure if you're going to stay on your side that your head is supported. Or, of course, the option to come to a seated posture. Either way, stay warm and comfortable and present with yourself. And that being awareness. So if you'd like, you can bring your hands to your body in any way, palms to heart to belly, one of each, palms together. None of the above, something completely different. I'll offer loving kindness to you as always. I encourage you to repeat each statement, changing the word you to I so that you are offering yourself loving kindness as well. May you be safe and healthy. May you have a calm, clear mind. May you have an open, loving heart. May you be at peace. May all beings on earth be at peace. That is very good work. Thank you, as always, for your presence and your practice.